Addiction. So, in terms of the definition of addiction, so video game addiction is suggested to be sort of behavioural. So it's characterised by excessive or compulsive playing of computer games that interferes with your everyday life. You may not actually notice it happening to you, and it may be others that pointed out that maybe you're spending too long on a games console, too long playing a game, disengaging with other aspects of life, conversation, maybe other hobbies, etc. Maybe social isolation, so you're not interacting with others. Maybe you've got mood swings. Maybe it's affecting your diet and your health. Maybe it's affecting your education. Maybe you're getting less exercise, maybe you're going out less, maybe you're engaging less and able to communicate less, maybe it's costing you money as well, so maybe you may get into financial debt, and also maybe it's affecting other interests outside of life and family life as well. Maybe you're playing games during sort of unsocial hours, so when you should be in bed asleep and being healthy and getting a healthy amount of sleep ready for the next day. So what I failed to sort of point out on this slide, however, is what causes addiction in a game. It's difficult to pin down, really, because it could be something like, say, for example, something very simple like solitaire or Tetris, where maybe there's a little routine to it and you've just got to get to the next level. Maybe you've got to compete against the clock, and maybe you're competing against yourself and just trying to complete the game in a quicker time. Or maybe it's just like a daily little routine that you get into. So when you get 5 minutes, you think, oh, I'll have a game of, solitaire, I'll have a game of Tetris, something very, very simple like that. More likely for an addiction gamer, however, it's going to be something that has maybe puzzles, so maybe you're stuck on something, you keep going back to it until you can solve it, and even more likely sometimes something where you can playing against a computer and you're trying to beat the computer and get a high score listing, or even more likely where you can playing against other people in a multiplayer environment, or maybe a massive multiplayer environment, because then by doing that, then you're trying to get your high score listings. Maybe you're doing esports, where you're actually trying to compete in a competition and trying to upskill. And maybe other people that are online in a multiplayer environment or a massive multiplayer environment from different countries and playing during during the time when you should be sleeping, or maybe in education, or maybe going to work or doing other things. So sometimes you're addicted by being in this community and playing at times when you shouldn't do, and playing and trying to compete against other players and trying to beat them and prove yourself, and that can be very, very addictive. Playing online, multiplayer, massive multiplayer against people from different countries with high score listings can be extremely addictive.